there was sad news this week, and you have probably heard about it by now. Tyler Trent, the Purdue University student who had terminal cancer and who actually paid a visit to our studio in early December, passed away on New Year's Day. Guys, this was one of the most poignant times I've ever had in the studio when we were able to meet him and share some time with him that night. And we knew his time was short. And look, cancer took his life. It never touched his spirit. And boy, he was a remarkable young man.
You know, Ernie, we're all going to pass away at some point, and you hope that you handle it with dignity, class, pride, and you're at peace with yourself. You know, I started watching that kid in the middle of the season, and every time he was on television, he was at peace.
There was just something you see when you spoke to him.
And when he came in the studio, I was so glad you invited him in the studio just to spend a small period of time. I want to make that clear. But the class and dignity, his dad, met his dad and his brother.
Tony, yeah.
And the quarterback, David Blount, I think that's...
David Blau.
Yeah, Blau. Yeah. But the way he carried himself, when the end comes for all of us, I hope you have that sense of peace and dignity that he had.
You know, he had great spirits. You know, he was laughing, smiling. He knew it was his time was coming. And you know, to add on to what Chuck was saying, he handled it well and very intelligent. And my condolences go out to his family. Me and his little brother started clicking right away.
Yeah, Ethan and Blake were his brothers. His mom, Kelly.
So Ethan, Blake, my condolences goes out to you guys.
Yeah, condolences to the family, but again, you know, you could live a lifetime and live 80 years, 90 years and not touch people. And this young man in his short span has touched so many people in that area of Indiana and across the country, which is phenomenal to do. And again, condolences to the family, and we wish him the best.
On the wristband that they were wearing, I continue to wear the Tyler Strong wristband, and it reminds us to rejoice always and pray continually and give thanks in all circumstances. Tyler Trent got that. And his story is also going to be told in a book called The Upset, which is available right now for pre-order. And Tyler's wish was that they will sell enough books to raise $1 million for cancer research. And that's Tyler Trent thinking about other people and others who will have to go down the road that he traveled so bravely. Tyler Trent, just 20. A winner over Golden State tonight, 135-134 in overtime. James Harden continuing his streak. You name it, he's done it. And this is 9 straight games of at least 35 points. It's also 8 straight games with at least 5 3-pointers, and that is an NBA record. And D-Wade, sheesh, James Harden is on one. Yes, he is, as a matter of fact.
Hey, one thing you can tell about all those guys getting up in the point, they don't ever pass the damn ball.
Steph Curry had 35.
Pass the damn ball.
Steph Curry had 35 points in the loss and spoke with Roz Gold on Wood.
Pass the damn ball, guys.
Steph, you know, even though at the end of the game, those final seconds, you know James Harden has the ball, you know James Harden is going to shoot it. In retrospect, is there any different way you would try to guard him, or do you stand by how you guys defended him in those, you know, last plays?
I mean, they're tough shots. He's been playing at a high level last, 11 games now, so it's not surprising considering the role he's on, but tough shots. The one he hit in the corner in front of our bench, the last one at the end of regulation, so you obviously tip your hat to him. Those are big shots. I think for the most part of the course of the game, we made him work a good amount, but you know, great players make great plays, and that's what he did.
You know, a word you guys use a lot is the word poise. You know, what happened to the poise down the stretch, and especially after having, you know, a 20-point lead in this game?
I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. You got to watch film and figure it out. It's rare for us to give up a lead like that, especially in this building. And, you know, they got hot from the three-point line. We had some defensive breakdowns, but that's kind of inexcusable in terms of losing with that big of a lead, no matter how great a team plays. So we got to figure that out.
Before this game, I asked you, is this game important? And you said yes. And you said you needed some big performances on big nights, and you dropped this one. So how would you assess where the team is at right now in January?
We're challenged, and that's great. I love it. I love the vibe in terms of nothing's easy. We are having to fight to create momentum and to put a string of good games together. And we haven't done it yet, so it's given us something to really lock in and focus on as we get 2019 started. Obviously, a lot of time to get where we want to be come April, May, June. And this is not a good feeling in the locker room in terms of losing 3 in a row at home. We don't do that, so we got to figure it out, and I bet on us for sure.
All right, thank you, Steph.
No problem.
One more note on James Harden. Last 11 games, he is averaging a mere 41 points.
It's getting to the point, Ernie, though. It's like, well, he's been hot for the last 4 games, last 7 games. He's hot.
Yeah.
He's just hot. And let's do something differently to guard this guy, because this is the way he's going to go.
Well, first of all, I blame a lot of the NBA. You got to take the ball out of his hand.
Without question.
I mean, because especially with no Chris Paul, you have to say to yourself,
Tucker, Austin Rivers,
like Capella.
If
they run the pick and roll with Capella, like he gets all his baskets on dunks and offensive rebounds. Like, what would he do if they gave him the ball at the top of the key? If they took the ball out of his hands? At some point, you got to say, let's make the other guys beat him.
House, those guys got it.
Yeah.
I would have lost, and Austin Rivers would have been being interviewed, or House would have been being interviewed. You know that this guy is beating you. It's no question about it right now.
Perhaps the rest of the league will take that on as a New Year's resolution, which leads us into Kenny's look at the new year and some resolutions
everyone has
he has.
resolutions for the new year, right? So I was just
not everybody.
One time. That'll shock the hell out of me.
I'll give you. How about break a bad habit? All right.
Uh-oh, you're going back to that well.
Yeah, we're going. So everyone talks about New Year's early. One that people always talk about, diet.
I don't talk about that.
All right, we talk
I was going to
about
let you say it.
But there's 2 teams that we saw tonight that instead of dieting, they need a steady diet of these 3-point shots. James Harden went 10 for 23 tonight because they feel if we take 10 threes, you got to make 6 2-pointers to make our 4 3-pointers. So we have a better chance of shooting the basketball. Golden State the same way. To keep the steady diet of these type of shots, and we're not worried about losing or winning, because if we take more, we win. But the second thing is health. You got to have health. And if you're in Los Angeles, LeBron James, you need health if you're a Los Angeles Laker. And if you, especially here in Toronto with Kawhi Leonard, you make this big trade, you got to have this guy healthy down the stretch. These are the guys, New Year's resolution, and James Harden. And at any point in this season, he goes down, this is a trouble rocket team, because already Chris Paul does not have the health. So you really have to stay healthy if you're one of these teams. And lastly, Philadelphia, because Embiid being in there, we cannot have him hurt at any point in the season if they're there. But then Love, these teams are getting none of it. And we talk about the Greek Freak, who should be possibly the MVP. I even say Indiana, not getting a lot of love on what they do out here in the Eastern Conference. People are not paying attention to the Los Angeles Clippers. Chuck said they're not even going to make the playoffs. No love for them Clippers down in Clipper land.
I love Tobias Harris.
And my man Dame Dash never gets. They didn't even put him on the All-Star game a couple years ago. No love for the Portland Trailblazers as well as they get. But last, but definitely not one of them at least, is hope. These teams are hopeful. You got the Phoenix Suns hopeful that their young talent will soon develop. Trae Young down in Atlanta, will they develop? But they're really hoping for, and you talk about anything else, if the draft will be a great draft next year, because all of these teams with the Knicks and Chicago Bulls, they will all be in the draft again. So they're hopeful that their young talent down in Cleveland will, but also hoping that there's some great talent coming up. Those are the New Year's resolutions
done, Jed.
of all of these teams around the NBA.
Job, Kenneth Smith.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Job.
Well, if you've put a stopwatch on this show at home, you already know that this is the longest segment in the history of Inside the NBA. So we're going to
that Dwight Howard one.
We're going to make it just a little longer right now, because here's another New Year's
Dude, it's 146.
Here's another New Year's resolution,
Okay.
Chuckster. And we hope that everybody listens to the folks at Netflix, because folks are into this Bird Box thing.
Oh, my God, it was
with the blindfolds. Can't believe I have to say this, but please do not hurt yourselves with this Bird Box challenge.
Why not?
We don't know how this started. and we
You put a
appreciate
movie out. That's how it started.
Well, they didn't know America gonna be a bunch of damn idiots.
It was a
Boy
great
and
movie.
girl
What are you talking about?
have just one wish for 2019, and it is that you not end up in the hospital due to memes.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
if you
actually
haven't seen Bird Box, you know,
I haven't seen Bird Box.
Sandra Bullock and every.
But listen,
great movie.
see, these people out here, man, they're a bunch of damn idiots.
well, you know,
Don't
are
do
they,
something-
Chuck?
A bunch of damn idiots.
you're really going to say that after you
Yeah,
see this.
Oh, they just, Shaq, they are. They're a bunch of damn idiots.
Yeah, but
out here.
watch this,
Watch
Chuckster.
this and see who else is.
We gotta get to the desk.
Wait. Let me lead us.
All right.
Let me lead us. I know where we're at.
Where are we going?
Right here. Oh, what is that? Right here. Oh, sorry. My bad. But right here. Watch out. Follow me. Follow me. Let me unbuckle.
Can't take your blindfold off. Come on, this way. Gotta make it to the desk.
Where are we?
I don't know. Don't take your blindfold off.
I promise I won't. Faster. Faster over here. Sorry. What is that? Oh, my bad. Ah, what is it? What is that? Wait. Okay. All right, let's make this easy. You just go right there, like that. I'm fine. My way around.
Should we take them off yet?
No, not yet. I think this should be my desk right here. Boy, we made it. We made it.
Thank you, Shaq.
Man, we made it. TNT's Bird Box Challenge. We made it. You all right?
Can we take the blindfold off?
Yeah, we can take it off.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question.
Why everybody else is ready to die? They had their blindfold.
Let me ask you a question.
What?
You haven't seen the movie.
I have not.
So what the thing is,
Yeah, you don't want to spoil.
why not? He hasn't seen the movie.
No, don't do
So
that.
what are you trying to
Other
spoil it
people
for him?
No, he's not going to watch it.
So y'all telling me
I ain't seen
that
it
are
either.
people walking around in blindfolds
Because that's the only way to stay alive.
If stay alive, because if you take your blindfold off, you would kill yourself.
And you telling me people are doing this in
It's
real
kind of
life?
like when I take my blindfold and look at you, I want to kill myself. Like it's literally.
Well, hey, well, go ahead. Well, seriously, are people actually walking around with blindfolds?
Well, it's a challenge now.
Yeah.
That's a challenge to do what? Kill
You have to
yourself?
watch the movie. If you watch the movie, it might make more
Dude,
sense.
that's
So
nothing to
that's
make
why
you-
Netflix is saying, please don't do the challenge.
Well,
We
they
don't-
have to tell people.
We don't want people
Netflix,
getting
I love
hurt.
Netflix. But y'all have to tell people not to do stupid stuff. That's a shame, America.
It's
It's a damn shame.
well, we had two of them do it.
Jack and Underdog. Yes,
Oh my gosh.
coming back with more on Inside.
In our own segment, Underdog.
This is some Shazam.
It's Kazam, Shinobi.
I know.
Shinobi!
It's Kazam.
Shinobi!
Oh,
Come on, man.
Killing me, Petey!